also the audio. I hope you can hear me. I'm using the headset, so maybe not the best mic. And maybe, I don't know if someone else is gonna join. Yeah, and what I was opening things and preparing beforehand and wanted to try something, and the demo gods, of course, they don't like this stuff, so they already showed up. And I hope everything works so far. But there's always this, the demo gods, if you show a demo, it works perfectly, but when you show it, then everything breaks. And also, you guys, you don't have to talk, you can write if you have some questions. I hope I see. Okay. Yeah, it's quite hidden. Also, first time it took me a while to realize where the open chat icon on the stream, beside the stream room, channel name, title, so you can chat. And also, I've come home from work day and I'm tired, but it should be fine. But yeah, I hope it doesn't take too long. Candy cane Caligo. What? What is this name? What is your name? Candy cane or Caligo? Caligo. And also Haiyan. Haiyan. Yeah, you should stick to a name. It's easy. Already, like, there were people I met online and suddenly they changed their name. I don't remember them. Like, you don't recognize them anymore. People do it for a reason, but they are not aware. Or they change, like, the profile picture, which you should never really, or there's no need. And if people know you with. But I changed mine, I have two. One with the green alien and kind of a photography of me, dark, kind of shady, when I was like 20. So, but yeah, cool, you made it. Change by season, yeah. Okay, I'm recording. Everything is fine, I think. Let's see what's in general. Ah, okay. Let me yeah, it was a bit short term, like decided to still at work, maybe would be cool to test the stream on this server. We just show and explain a little bit that all the videos I made before, when I started making videos of these things, they're all not narrated, so. And I get that kind of people may be confused or that they don't ask, they don't know what it's about. And yeah, it's just kind of, my plan is to make a set of tools, or maybe it's all in one, but I haven't decided yet. But since I have a couple ideas what I want to make, it's maybe best to split them up in separate and standalone separate programs, little tools you can have open or closed, and kind of decide which one you want. Or the other thing is, like, if you have in one app and then there's like a desktop something, and you can open the different tools, that would be a possibility. But yeah, it's too early. These things are still have to decide what's best. And yeah, I started really kind of already long ago, or 2-3 years ago, when I learned Godot. And since then I kind of built some small things, little prototypes, games, stuff, and also some which are now more advanced here. Already kind of had built or wanted to build anyway something. So instead of just trying to make a game, possibly, but then I decided to, why not make some kind of cool tools for myself to create palettes to play around with colors. I had a couple ideas and stuff, and I started prototyping. And since Godot is not only a game engine, it can be used as a app development tool, quite flexible. And you have a powerful engine, which is also lightweight, so it's not a big engine like Unreal or something else. And yeah, that's where we are. And I've already started a couple tools, and this is one. I even don't have a name yet. Color body, I think, or art body, something like this would be nice, but it's maybe not final. So, and this is already here as well, but it's not rendering anything anymore. And yeah, the idea is kind of what I said, like playing around with colors, creating palettes. So, as we know, like in many painting apps, have some sort of these palettes, Photoshop, Krita, and all the others. They have different formats and stuff, and editors for them, which are some are better, some are worse. And Aseprite pixel art tool I also used some time, which has kind of a nice, better palette editor or tool inside. And this was kind of also when I had the idea to make something, I was thinking of that tool as well. But yeah, just went ahead and built what I think would be ideal for just a little, uh, yeah, just kind of window with the palette and keep everything as simple as possible and not the typical program. So I really early decided to, I played around with this concept to have, it's almost like PureRef, so we have a big stage, it's 10 million pixels wide, I think, or 210 or 20 million, I don't know, but it's kind of endless. So kind of no limits. So just I think that this was the last features I implemented now, a kind of minimap. So it's really, yeah, practical and you can. I want to have something that's really open and flexible. It doesn't give me a layout. And when I started, I had first tried build a layout with panels and stuff, palettes inside, and quickly became just too much. Too like I just like the freedom and place things around, resize them how I want, and yeah, that's how it is currently. And I don't know, the idea is also maybe to have, I have this side panel here, you have access to things, you can save some info panel I put there for now to list all the shortcuts that's currently in. I will be sure there will be more and they will change. Yeah, palette save some image, and which is also a power I thought would be cool to have. And kind of use them in different ways to, yeah, one obvious way is to extract colors, palettes from an image. There's tools online, and I don't know, Krita has something, Aseprite has something, which some are better, some are worse. Yeah, this mini map is kind of cool. It's like a game, you know. I also was thinking of having this kind of stage and desktop as a kind of home. You can put furniture or maybe there's some loot box every time you open it. Some microtransactions. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's almost like these couple tools here, modules you see are fixed for now. They're just kind of little tools in itself. A little one is a prototype. It's not really working or finished, but and I already still want to decide what to do with them. If they're like some modules also that you kind of add to the stage, like right click or some menu. And you can also drag them around, place them where you want next to a palette. So I like to have a chaotic way or an organized. It should both be maybe possible. So maybe some mix of, you can switch a layout to have palettes in a list and stuff like this. So also this panel here is really just rough, a list of preview and load, delete. So I have up here a little menu. I can add new palettes, as many as I want. Only limit of your hardware. And let's see, there's some settings, quite already a couple, and there will be maybe a lot more. We can also want to have it as flexible as possible for like shortcuts and navigation, which is always, I hate in programs when you have to adapt and want to cut kind of what you used to. Usually if you can set it up easily, it's kind of cool. So if I think of having Krita open, So the idea is that it's on top of everything, so there's kind of the option to have the app always on top of everything. There's also other tools. I think PureRef also has it. It's kind of, but that's the demo gods. I just tried it before the session and it didn't work. And I don't know if it was the first time that happens. Like it was working before. Now I turned it off because it wasn't working. To save it again, reopen. Let me see if definitely works, but if it's like in Godot and I run the app, the game, it just loads this one, and I have to run it directly. Then it works. And should work. Yeah, so I have Krita open, I have this app is above. That kind of also opens possibilities, to easily color pick from here. Yeah, it's really useful, I think, so far. I enjoy not the MTX SKD, what? Yeah, it's really, it wasn't really intentional, really, to, let's make it like PureRef. It was just like, yeah, it has to be something like this, and then, yeah, PureRef is also like this, and could even like be, yeah, a good thing that artists or designers already are used to that too. Is there ever a risk of it overloading due to many palettes? I haven't tried, but I think you can open a million, I don't know. It's endless. So memory wise, they don't take a lot of space, and in the app, I don't know, more than you ever will need. But yeah, that's also something as I can't zoom out more, but yeah, you can see I can move around. Maybe some limit, or I don't know, some kind of grid that helps, because if you hear it's just grid. That's the kind of the details and stuff to like the fun stuff at the end too. There's so many stuff you have to consider making such a thing. Already what's in there is kind of crazy. So yeah, let's show the palette itself. So the settings. So you can adjust the size here. Where you want to have a bigger or a certain size. Make it like wide or high. And there are single swatches, color swatches, and you can drag them around. You can add colors. You can double click and edit the color. And with shift click you can drag a whole range. And with alt click I can select multiples, and if I've like this, the first one and the last one, I can make a gradient. So shift these to deselect. So all these shortcuts will maybe change, some are maybe already fine, but I haven't decided everything. So there's different sorting options, easy delete with backspace or delete here, so there's many ways to the same. You can then just save it, random, palette, and then it's should be here, maybe demo palette here. So as soon as I save it, I can close it here and load it again. And yeah, load any palette here, and loads in. So this is kind of forever stored in your user directory as a file. And yeah, if you just have palettes, so everything is state saved and auto saved, everything you do, everything is saved. It means if you go out, leave the app, where you left it, there's maybe not 100% every setting. I think this is not saved, but the other things and where they are and stuff. So you can also drag colors to another palette, multiple, whatever. You can load one directly here, it would be kind of shortcut. You can import a palette which is like 10 different formats, easy, Arco, I can't tell from memory. I can export, yeah, so JSON GPL is GIMP as a PNG strip, so all the necessary, all you ever need. And you can name the colors, which is sometimes also a cool thing. I have a transparent feature, so you can lay it over something, an image, and yeah, it would be really nice to have. You can also sort the color palette. Something else. So yeah, the selection isn't final really. There's a lot of stuff we can improve, but it's already a lot there. The direction of the palette flow, it's kind of hard to show, because also still this window, the drawing resizing isn't perfect. But yeah, it's vertical or horizontal, so instead of having a wide palette, so it's kind of going up like in this direction instead of horizontal. And then there's these palettes you can create, save, export, import, and arrange them, sort them, whatever. And then these modules here, for now, cool things. This is just the color picker. On this side, you can close it. As a color generator, a gradient generator, harmony color themes. Just simple tools. A gradient mixer. This kind of for random palettes, but you can define the range you want to have the colors in generated. This would be a custom color wheel you can create, but I just started something, prototyped something. It's working, but I don't know if it's useful. And then there's kind of also harmonic color schemes that you can generate. This is inspired by Adobe, has one online, but I think it's already more flexible, more powerful. because I can easily create the palette, and then, but there's also has some features I maybe want to implement. I can say complementary, and you have kind of the base color, and you can on this line you can move the blue, the yellow. It can be RGB or RYB, kind of traditional pigment color wheel that's, yeah, different opposites. Then this triadic, tetradic, analogous, split complementary, so these usual known. I'm not even sure there's more, or it could be one that's free, I don't know. So, and then you can add more of these colors for each where you want, drag them around, so, and you see the result down here. And I can also just say randomize and build one randomly, so from 1 to 5 per. And change also brightness. Maybe I should have a different option, but, and add these to a palette. See. It just adds to the selected palette, or yeah. And I can show these others here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's also monochrome, or the saturation version. I want to have more flexible with, it kind of creates random. Yeah, but you can easily add them to a palette. You see there's still an issue with, oh no, I had it dark. I had once an issue with it, but now it's working. So you can still, like, yeah, do whatever with these colors, or create a gradient between them. So, yeah, so navigation wise, I forgot to mention, like, you can, like, then make it hard and not smooth the movement and stuff like this. Change minimap. Yeah, just all have, I think are useful to have as many settings as needed, or possible to change things how you like it. Yeah, this random picker, random palette generator, you can use the full range from, so the color is like usually 360 degrees. And then saturation, define a range you want, what you want, the brightness, full spectrum, and say how many colors. And I can also, maybe I need to also still change these, so I can directly generate a new one, but if I have one selected, oh no, this one is, yeah, it's still even confusing me, so like there's a lot of things I have to clean up, make it coherent with others. So yeah, and kind of replace them with new versions, so I can just click and see, get inspiration. So I also only want to have like these colors in the red spectrum, purple. And then like, yeah, I can sort them by color, by hue, by saturation, value, luminance. And yeah, use them for whatever I like inspirational. I just generate colors and find maybe a color or even here like a combination you haven't thought of or it's kind of interesting. Just fun kind of also playing around with what's possible. Maybe there will be more features. This was the first like having a gradient generator that's kind of more flexible. I can select, it's still wrong here, it's alt click. Just say I want to have between all these a gradient. So I can select this green, this pinkish, this one, and create one. And then there's another tool which is the gradient mixer. It's kind of cool little tool to build on gradients, and here also you can drop in one color, multiple colors, drag them in, create gradients, you can edit them. So these three colors are just new stubs created in here, and you can go and change them, color and whatever position, add more. I can even select the whole range, drag it in and get something like this. And then you have these two gradients with the idea to kind of mix them, which gives you kind of a new result, which yeah, it's kind of fun to play around with, but also you can darken the gradient you have or lighten it or whatever. There's many applications for that. You have different color spaces that's kind of used for mixing the colors. And what blend mode. So I also have to maybe make it a little more clear. This is kind of, or a different way, I don't know yet. That this is the bottom gradient, this is the top gradient. It's kind of mixing them between. This is kind of just this one, the B1 and the A1, and this is kind of mixed 50-50. And from this result I can also generate or add to a palette. Or directly export the gradient. There's different gradients, GIMP, Photoshop, JSON, various formats that other applications can read. And I don't know, I've spent some time playing around with, it was kind of, I don't know, gives more flexibility, and also I can just I was doing the other day, I can add, let's say a gray, light gray, can drag that in, so I only have one stop, so it's just one color, and then multiply, so the subtract, and then also this different way, you have tons of kind of combinations, and then see. It also kind of was interesting to find out all about this like different mixing modes in different color spaces, what they produce. Really, it's kind of imitating pigment color, and it's always just estimation. And digitally, it's kind of a hard topic. And different programs use different color spaces and blend modes. Blend modes are more or less kind of all the same. Multiply is just math, multiplying, subtracting, and depending on these different color spaces you get different results. RGB usually, OCLAP is the new modern wave, like color space and also color. So the color you can see it's taking the brightness, the luminance of a color into account, because different colors have different brightness, and just the normal is kind of so if I change the hue, you see it's kind of wobbling around. And here you kind of can see it. Oh, I'm in the wrong. There's actually two. Forgot what confuses me about this. And this is from Godot, the imaging, the color picker. It's really powerful, but I think there's some issue understanding. So here you can also see the colors have, it looks strange, like the yellow, green are really bright, and these are lower. If you change, you see it stays. I know it's. Does it change? Okay. So weird stuff happens if you just change the hue, and depending on this slider type, it kind of makes it weird. So this is all in the same value, and if you change color, it's not like just horizontal. Confusing stuff, like palettes, and then many artists don't really care. I myself also really, I just pick colors I like when I paint and mix them. And I can work with any color picker when I paint. So yeah, usually have one of these, or the circle. I try to sometimes switch around between different ones. I haven't really a favorite. At the end, it's always about the hue, what saturation you need, what value. So HSV, or HSV, I don't know in English. HSV, HSL. I think these are artistic, kind of easy to understand. So RGB is already confusing because it's really RGB mixing. And I think, maybe just play around with colors, creating palettes is something, and having this harmonic tool creator that's easy to use. And then you already see here something I've up here. Maybe I can show this later, but the canvas mixer was the next tool I built. Started already some time ago, and it takes time to load because this is not the build, and the shader is heavily based on GPU shader, and this kind of fixed size, 500, you can change, but the larger the more power it needs. This is kind of a small painting app inside. I can have different brush style, brush tips, just kind of simple round brushes, soft, and also supports kind of, you can add your own PNG. So I added some I had ready, some many of little textures and stuff for brushes. And you can change opacity and the brush size, and it's kind of still, if you have really large brush size, it can get a bit laggy, but it's quite optimized. Yeah, I have a color picker, or it also supports kind of, you can just drag in a color. Still an issue if I select one and then drag the other one, it's taking this selected one, so still, these are kind of tough stuff to figure out. These are little things that really matter, but I've tested it for so long and used it and made stuff, so I covered a lot already, but it's still finding things that still need. I can drag one color in, it's kind of convenient. If I already have some, I don't know, build some random palettes or a specific one, and use these in here, and I can paint over. And then the mixings, also these, again, these different color space mixings, RGB, and there's 3 options now for pen. You can pressure and size, size on pressure, so opacity, pressure, and blender mode. So the blender mode is actually just like a smudge tool in like painting apps. It's really mixing a color or smudge them together. Let me see. And this is already kind of depending on the color space. Lab is much more expensive to calculate. Not even sure it's worth having, but why not? There's also the Kubeka Monk, I think Rebel uses it, I don't remember exactly again. I thought so. There's like the real pigment paint, and also the RIB, and some are not really much noticeable, others are. If you just like blend them using kind of, or if you then start blendering, it makes already a difference. But I found RGBs are actually quite good. You know, it's not a real one. That's like real pigment. It's behaves differently, but I got so used to just RGB, what Krita gives me default. I tried Rebel for some time with like the real mixing mode, pigment mode, and I don't know really what I prefer. Sure, it's fun to have such an option, and I'm really a favorite. For me, it's just I need to be able to produce. That's kind of how I expect it to work. So if it kind of doesn't do what I expect, and then I used to, and it's kind of weird. So you need to get used to a new mixing algorithm. That's not just RGB. I'm still in the blender mode. This is more soft, but it's not. It's the RGB that's behaving weird. This is for, and you can also see some artifacts. That's just because it's not that advanced implementation. It's just the algorithm that's kind of used to blend colors in these color spaces. So it's, at the end, it's always RGB. The monitor can't display, so it's just the math behind it, and can produce some weird stuff. So then I thought, why not have some kind of flow simulation, since I'm also into shaders and stuff, and I love kind of noise texture, and you can animate them, can produce, or you can create crazy stuff. I had this idea. It's not like a blending, just doing blending, so you can change color. You can still paint. It's kind of, can be, depending on the brush and brush size, it can be a bit laggy, but you can like drop in and use a hard ground. And you have different patterns. It's more uniform, this is more random, some kind of how fast it flows, a noise setting. See, you see it more in this mode, chaotic. So kind of really small noise, or so it's really blending together, or have more structure. And kind of the flow direction with these, up, down, left, right. And can sort of freeze the pattern, but you see it's like completely mixing now the color. It's still running, it's just the simulation is going. I need to see. Yeah, depending on this blending mode, you can create crazy results. I never thought of, like, I wouldn't even think of doing something like this, or come up with. It's meditative, it's like Zen-like, and of course you can copy this to, forgot, I have Krita open. So at the end I can just copy this to the clipboard, and it should work. So I have the image directly here, and technically I can now, I don't know, paint something. I could copy and paste it back again. I'm not sure it's still already working. Let's go back. So if I have these open, and it's currently not in that when I open it, it scans for all the images you have saved, so you can select one and put it on the canvas. So I could technically, the idea is that I can also select this one, put it in again, something like, but it's not actual. It's it's not scanning for the new image added. So the fun part is like you can take in any image, photograph, and just create something that's not just the color. It's really kind of crazy if you think like it's a sketch of mine. Lots of images. So yeah, you have these images, and our brain kind of sees the landscape. Sometimes you can't really see objectively what colors are, and you just let it flow, for a bit, and you actually see more of what's really made of what colors. It's like suddenly looks abstract. I think that's really powerful to have. I already kind of somehow thought or had like aha moments. I don't know. Yeah, what this tool could be kind of used for, not just kind of mixing and experimenting with colors. And since it's also on top of the window, I could use this as to pick the colors from directly, something like this. So it's really a fun tool to play around and try these different mixing modes of different colors. Easily clear and fill, but that's still maybe more. There will be more options, and the handling and the buttons and stuff will change probably. Still not finished. But I forgot also this button because it was on the other side, so I can. So if I have one like this, I can also export it to the stage, so I have it directly as an image. And again, if I now close and open, it's at the same stage. Everything is here, all the settings. It's all state saved. And but if this is open now, I can close it. But if I reopen, it has to load this one. Takes a little bit less. So if you have also here, you can add multiple, so you can work on 4 simultaneously if you're crazy. But it's really fun, like painting here, and I've had 4 of these open. It's kind of fun. But I can't currently save them. Maybe it would be also nice to save them like images. I don't know. So I will close it for now, and the next thing is images. I can copy paste these images in, or I can actually this one. I can't see because I'm on top mode of everything. So I just have a folder here just to show, like I can drag it in. An image, and can also be any size. It will just resize it to 800 pixels inside. We'll still have the full image. This is a low quality, I don't know, 100 kilo from the web. So you can zoom in and see it's not smooth like it's usually in image view, so you see the real pixels. Can right click, color sample, create a new palette, add this to the palette. I can pick some colors this way. Or I can, this panel gives me actually a lot of awesome options. And you see from the testing I always had a lot of stuff open. I cleared it the other day, but still again. But that's fun, you know, I can go outside and have a clean and still be like quickly at some point double click on it. It's kind of similar to PureRef. So this image is for different stuff. Hello? Yeah, someone joined a Pilu loop. Hi. Yeah, I was just talking. The other ones, they don't talk, don't have mic, or yeah, I'm just showing all the things and explaining some stuff. What's currently the current state. So this, yeah, is the image tool. You can drag in, copy, paste in. Then also their state save. So if I close now, the image is still saved. If I open, it's still here. But I can permanently save it, add it to the list here. So this will be a bit more organized or better view. It's just a simple list for now. But it works. I can load and delete and stuff. So now if I close, you know, I can go in and open it again. And this panel, I can flip the image around. I can make it bigger if I want. Size I want. And extract colors. Now I can as match at 256 maximum sampling and some setting that's influencing the color group, you know, the selection of colors, because in some way it's really hard to do well. And yeah, if I only have like let's say, yeah, or even extreme, like 5 colors. So what 5 colors should an algorithm pick from this? You know, it's kind of, and it depends. If I go really high, it kind of finds more. And this is kind of also an image that doesn't have many colors. I tested with a lot of different images. This one gives me 5 colors, so there's a lot of colors and a lot of blue. So the standard is, so I can up the sampling size. But yeah, what colors would you pick, you know, if you had 5 colors from this image? So all you can do is like add more, and that's already quite good, better than most or kind of simple online extracting tools. They kind of, in a special way, they for designs and stuff, so they kind of have some algorithm that picks really distinct colors, and that's why the option here to make more. And for an image like this, it depends whether you're gonna color pick or whatever, but it's a simple way to extract the most important colors. And you still can go in and add one that's maybe missing. Still, and yeah, that's for this. And then there's these shaders kind of tools, filters. I don't know how to name them yet. They're kind of more like analysis tools to. But we also kind of know that there's filters and stuff in Photoshop and programs that can do these stuff. Separating the dark, mid and bright. I can enable it, disable it. Could define these colors. Then edge detection is also interesting. And then there's a how many colors kind of detector in different, again, in these different harmony schemes. That's, well, that's usually known. And things like with complementary, you have to again kind of look into it to have another mode for color space for RGB and not only RGB, because they're different. So if I go to the select kind of the red range, I can say how much tolerance from the red. And now you see that the red is highlighted and the rest is gray. I can up the tolerance. But also I wanted to have it like just show the colors, you know, kind of like a mask. And that's why I have these. I can change the background to black or white or whatever, gray. So I can really see which part. And with these compressed JPEGs, you see all the artifacts. It's kind of easy. Yeah, it's exactly. This kind of. For me, it was. I always wanted to see this and have kind of tool I can easily. Yeah, like edge detection, like the posterize, you know. Just sometimes interesting to see, and I don't necessarily need it always, maybe, but yeah, it's cool to maybe have some tools like this to teach, to show people, young artists that learn, and can be cool to show as an analysis tool. Posterize colors, it's not really great, but for example, the saturation analysis is also interesting. There's also the hue analysis. It's just really just the color. Show me the blues. I can mask it, invert it, whatever. And just see the blue exactly. And also want to make this maybe different or more. I don't know. Select a range in here. I don't know. But yeah, for now it's just two sliders, so I can change the range. If I really small range, then it's really exactly this you see. Can see what these colors are. Back to this complementary or chromatic. Kind of similar as the U, but I found the where's it gone now? What? Oh no, I'm the wrong. The saturation is kind of interesting. You wouldn't really think as I don't know, as a beginner artist. For me, as a painter, kind of advanced level, it's really interesting to see these types of things, especially the saturation on different images. Kind of. It's maybe not something you do all the time, but just if you're curious, you know, and want to really see where these colors lie, and then you can inspect the color. Also wanted to have more options here to see the RGB values and stuff. But this is kind of now the color picker. I can also here like mask to alpha and Yeah, thanks. How young? Hi, no problem. If you have to go, I'm recording it, and yeah, there's so much already in here to show, and kind of wanted to really go a little bit into detail. So the the last tool is which I just currently recently built, or I built it some time ago, but really took time to and optimize it. I had some versions that really didn't work well. It's kind of also just a fun real-time ray tracer tool. It's like a little 3D. It's not really 3D. It's signed distant fields, and it's kind of a shader that's run on the GPU. And I can. It's not geometry like in 3D, like in Blender, SDF, which is they're kind of mathematically described, so I have different, the easy platonic shapes, and I can rotate and stuff. But maybe I can try, but it's too much maybe to implement some with geometry. You could load in an object or something. I don't know. The idea was just I would love to have a tool like this because it's kind of rendering, simulating real light and shadow. And with Godot you have 3D, but it's not ray traced, so you don't know, it's kind of fake. I mean, it's not really real here as well, but still a lot better. So kind of have the physical sky mode, which is also something you have in Blender. I can up the sample size, denoiser, so I can already here go in and kind of inspect some colors. I can maybe the sphere is a bit better, and then just change lightning, color, lightning strength, and all everything of the sky color, which is automatically in this mode. And if I change to manual, then can go define each color. It's not really meant to like have a build a 3D scene. It's more like rather a mood, a lightning, and have a reference or something, a little playground to set the scene up. Maybe I will add this. You can have multiple objects or spheres. So but I'm not sure if it's really that useful. I can try to get some decent result with some normal maps. You can make it a little more interesting. And the object color, change it. And the material of the object, so it's metallic and it's roughness, so it's kind of like plastic but shiny, glossy. And specular intensity, also could have a normal map. So can kind of imitate skin, and with the it's kind of translucent subsurface scattering, and can add. I need to change some color. Also can directly adjust the sound in here. It's almost like a material preview, and you can use it as a reference or for whatever of different objects. No, as I explained, you can't import. It's not geometry, it's math alone, like sine distance fields. This is not made out of something, it's just a distance, a radius. So it's ray tracing, all the rays that make these pixels, they shoot out and find a color depending on the surroundings. So I can adjust the ambient. Also, everything's kind of influencing each other, and it's the same. Like, I know how to use Blender. I work with 3D for a long time, and it's easy to go in Blender. You know, Blender is the most powerful tool that's free, but I found like many artists don't know how to use it. They're scared or whatever, and also many use it because it's really powerful what you can do in many ways. But I understand there's artists that don't like it, don't want to get into it, or it just overwhelmed with, and it can be very overwhelming and tricky. And only I found, even like only after years and years of working, I worked with other programs before Cinema 4D for a long time, and then for Blender it was like again like a couple of years until I was really comfortable with kind of everything that Blender has and all the stuff. And it takes a lot of time and passionate practice, and it's not just you can go in quickly and do something. And I was trying, thinking of making maybe some tutorials or videos about it, because I found a really nice way to work with Blender in a simple way that could be useful to artists or concept artists, but many concept artists already know. And even though I think maybe it's simple, it's still a challenge, and it's always difficult to view outside your own perspective and bubble you're in. So, but many things that kind of clicked for me, and then in Blender that makes everything really easy. But you really have to know almost a lot of stuff. So I think having something like this, I've always thought maybe it would be really cool and use myself instead of going in Blender, because what do you use cycles, you use maybe eaves, it's also getting more powerful. But this is not in no way meaning to replace. If you have access or know how to use Blender, it's maybe also go there and be even more flexible and try see if I can implement something. But I have other plans that's just inside the color body and gives, it's like creating some kind of materials and have play around with different colors and lights and stuff. And combine it with other things in here that I found. Still, I don't have the kind of I can export it to the stage, but kind of extract the colors from it. So all the things that I like to do, and I have to use different apps, and there's no way the perfect app. So this is kind of building for myself the perfect app. It's all the things I always want to do or wanted to do and be quick, not lose. I can do everything I can in here with different tools or in Krita. But yeah, mixing gradients and setting them up, making palettes is. I haven't found a program that really makes it well, and found it's a chance to. Yeah, sorry. Everybody left. Everybody had to go, But I'm almost I'm finished here with this demo. Yeah, there's just two of us. Yeah, yeah, but nice you came. You came in late, but yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, yeah, for. That's what I hope it should be or can be, and I worked with so many tools also over the last, I mean, 30 years more. Yeah, that's it's kind of. I don't know. There's always apps. Sometimes you think, oh, this is really awesome. Why is not every app like this? So simple apps like PureRef, they're kind of gold. Just they do what you need. And mhm. Yeah. What do you use? Krita or what do you use now? Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I use Mix. Yeah, it's cool. You need to get used to the interface and the way it works, but it's really cool. Yeah. I also use it sometimes, and I also used a lot Adobe products over the years, but I never thought of using Photoshop for painting, because I used Photoshop since first versions, and I never thought of it. You can, but as soon as I started painting digitally more serious again, after 25 years of not doing or not really doing much, and for me it was clear I can't use Photoshop. And I don't understand people who can work with and support Adobe at the same time. So yeah, it's great to hear. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I find if it's not easy to use, you don't like working with it, and yeah, it's just my experience with software development. I'm a front-end developer, but I went the whole palette, you know, also back-end programming and everything. There's so many apps and tools I used over the years, so there's a lot of kind of experience of how I think an app should be or can be. I don't know. And it doesn't have to be like follow the classic. So yeah, as I was saying in the beginning, it's like PureRef a bit, and it just wasn't even intentional. You know PureRef? It's similar to this. Like you can drop in images for reference and then position them or arrange them easily. Like go in, click in and out. And what I also want still adding is like you can draw on an image, make notes or sketch something. Just kind of also for teaching, whatever. So PureRef is a lot of artists use that you kind of build your mood boards with lots of reference pictures, and then you can put comments on, draw on them. So in a way it's similar, but this is more like really for kind of colors and study and inspiration. I don't know. Have you seen the mixer? The canvas mixer? I think you entered when I finished on this, showed this. You didn't see it from the beginning. So this is kind of like a little painting app inside. Simply like one brush, and you can have different types, hard, soft. You can put in PNGs, your own, and brush size, and with pen pressure also. I'm using the mouse correctly. So like a really simple basic painting, or it's more like intended to be a mixer of colors, and you have all these different mixing color spaces, RGB, LA, lab, OCLAB. So these are different types of how the colors mix. So this is simulating pigment color. So you can, if you mix too much colors, but also the kind of a blend mode to, like a smudge tool, where you can really blend. Let me, for example, if I can say maybe I don't know, the typical, like blend. It depends also on the opacity, and it's still like not really finished, but it's kind of okay already. It's kind of depending on opacity now, so but I still can go make them full opacity at the yellow. Another, depending on this mode, they mix differently. If I go then Blender mode, use a soft, smaller brush. So this is producing a weird result. And it depends really how saturated these colors are, because it's kind of simulating. So it's never like the real thing, but you can get really different results with these different modes here. And usually the normal programs are kind of straight RGB, which is also nice. The default one. The others are more exotic and trying to simulate pigment, real color. And then I thought, yeah. Hello. What? Ah, hi, the Bronx. Do you, are you're coming from the traditional, you mean from traditional to digital? You're used to mixing with oils or like acrylics, watercolor, yeah, kind of just subtractive, yeah, subtractive, RGB is additive, yeah. So yeah. You mean subtractive? The pigment are subtractive. RGB is additive. Yeah, there's this 8 different RGB LEV. This is from Photoshop, Oak Labs, modern. Kubel Kamunk is like trying to simulate paint. I haven't found it that. There's the SCH, it's kind of vibrant. I don't know. RIB, but it's kind of crazy. I have playing around with these. It produces dirty colors, you know. But it depends because this is all simulated and it's digital, depends what brush and the opacity. So the, but it depends really what yellow exactly and what red you have, and the kind of the warping. The warping kind of 360 degrees, you know. It depends. It's not a perfect simulation here, like maybe like in Rebel. The Kubelka is this one in Rebel. It's like more consistent and real life, and yeah. So this is producing. Yeah, it's kind of some. I found some don't work as well, and depending also, some of these work well with more desaturated. So I'm using the full. That's the problem. So you're more in this range, you know, with these. RGB is the most powerful and flexible and consistent and how you expect digitally to mix. And I'm so used to it, and sometimes I even think when I use the RGB, it's like, eh? It's like mixing like pigments. I don't understand. It's like, I mean, watercolor depends also a lot on the brush. So they have, uh, I mean, uh, I have these gradient. I have so the soft. I mean, if I really go like transparent, that's what you mean. I can. So this is and this is RGB. So it's not too bad, but you get different with. Uh, but some of these are not really meant to be these different algorithms for this kind of usage. So here in this, this is currently state safe. So if you close the app and open, it's where you left. And yeah, that's still something I have to do or wanted to do, like save this whole. It's like I have the palettes image you can save permanently here and load them again. So what I already can do is export it as an image on the stage and save that, and can even then load it back here again. But current yeah, so it would be kind of its own. But currently, it's a powerful tool that takes some resources if you don't use it, not, but if you use it. So that's why you add a new one, and it's kind of easy loading the shaders, because this is also not the compiled version of the app. So now in Godot. And this mixer is in C# and shader, so GPU only, more or less, because the brush is, the app itself, the inputs, that could be GD script, it's fast enough. The problem is canvas, and that's in, it's a fragment shader. And oh, really? Oh, yeah. You find them online, so research. Yeah, I use them, the separate functions. Yeah. And there's a lot of research papers about these different, and some are, Doclab is a more modern, new one. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, yeah. You photograph. How do you say? What did you say? What do you do? What you are? A digital photographer. It's hard to say the word for me. Photographer. Yeah, sure. I also am more like a hobby photographer. I just I bought a new camera, and it's also interesting. There's also a couple tools there for uh, editing raw data. Can't remember the names. So there was actually two cool. I think they're free, open source. but that's the tool for astrophotography you mentioned. Like it's the stacking of different. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also a bit into this though. I was really thinking about buying some better equipment and start doing some astrophotography, but kind of I, I I went to YouTube down the rabbit hole. Yeah, like a lot of channels there about this topic. So I really got into it and interested but while I would love to maybe in future I don't know, but I went the music route. I'm also a musician, or yeah, playing different instruments. So I went this route, you know, in investing in. Sorry. Maybe I think so. Guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Never thought about this way, but yeah, multi kind of a lot of things I do. But yeah, I went the music route and invest a bit in so I can make better and easily experiment with making music instead of a better telescope. And I have a simple refracted telescope, and for planet's moon, it's like a 200 scope. It's a Celestron, and it's and I went to the observatorium that's nearby, and I went there, and they have big refractor and reflector telescopes, and and it's kind of you have this blind spot in the middle, but it's not really better. I don't see the Saturn or whatever. Don't see it really better there. It's like, and they're I don't know how many $1,000 they cost. So I was kind of, is that really, even with the big refractor telescope, and I have a small one, it's not that much different. That you still see the moon, you see all the craters. Maybe it's not as sharp, and mine is not like with the, I don't know how, it's minimum 3 stacked lens that for the chromatic aberration to get a better clear picture with refractor. So, but I don't know if it's worth the money, and then you're kind of always dependent on the weather, and we often don't have clear sky. So maybe I have holidays and maybe I want to look at the stars and it's just raining, and then for weeks, and then I'm pissed. So that's kind of at the end was really the major factor why I would be really nice, but it's not that cheap of a hobby, or yeah, it can. I was thinking about what would be the easiest, the cheapest, but still more advanced to make. Maybe even photography, and then there's now these Instacam roboters that take pictures, deep sky pictures, and I thought like, okay, is there a market for that already? So people don't like to sit out and do these things manually, so there's a device you can. Yeah, so I really was informing me and wanted to really buy something, but at the end I didn't. Yeah, but it's cool to know someone else that's into this stuff. Cool. Yeah, anytime. I created the Discord for that exactly. Like, I can't. I'm not ready yet to give out some testing. I gave some to some friends already, to just in this state, just to kind of play around a bit, and I tested it for so long that it's kind of there's no really bugs, so it's just incomplete, and still a lot of work to do, but it's coming along. Thanks very much. Yeah, me too. What I'm a front-end developer. I also did some architecture and back-end stuff, but yeah, since 30 years, that's my job. That's my day job. So, but foremost, I was kind of, yeah, drawing. Started drawing really early, and age 5, 6, around that time, really got hooked. And then with age 12, I got first Amiga 500. And then there I discovered programming, basic stuff. And I got hooked, it's just kind of like a new new universe that opens. And yeah, from there I went different paths and 3D and the painting got a bit back, I put it back. And I went to art school, design school, and from there I didn't really paint anymore or draw a lot. And 25 years later, with 44, I started, 6 years ago, I'm now 50. Uh, so I started again, and I already had all this knowledge and kind of from school and previous, and but it's a big journey, going digital, and it wasn't that easy in the beginning, but I got better quickly because I already had the fundamentals and know what it's about, so that helped me a lot. And I always both worlds, programming and just making art, being creative, and programming for me is also a creative work. I'm a creator, I don't know, yeah, in different fields. And also into science and math and everything. It's like we live in a crazy world, at the moment. Why would you just limit to? And I don't know if I got old, or when I got older, I don't know, maybe with 40, 45, I just said I have to paint again because maybe at some point it's too late. So the kind of midlife crisis. And yeah, then I just started uh, diving in, and now I lost train of thought because someone distracted me. But yeah, that so yeah, I'm really broad. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 I think it's also a curse. I really do, because it's also I'm back and forth and left and right. It's not. I'm not, I'm always changing, and because I do so many things, some people say, "Well, you can't do everything." It's like, and I get it's like two type of people: those that do their same thing and focus on one thing, and there's others that kind of just want to do everything. I think both have their goods and bads. So I found that having kind of expertise or getting deeper in many areas or fields, you can kind of connect them in some way that's otherwise you wouldn't have this experience. Like I'm a musician. I relate them. My artwork and music. There's a connection. There's many similar things about composition, whatever, mood, and yeah, really, for me, it's a journey, big journey. And now with all these tools we have available, that's why I'm building it, because it's got so easy to make stuff. I love Godot, uh, game engine. I work now since 3 years maybe. And yeah. But I think it's also occurs sometimes I really think about I can't decide what I want to do or on which I want to work on, that's the difficult part. And finishing something, so when I started 6 years ago painting again, I really was really passionate and started making quick speed paints that I finish in one session, in one evening. Otherwise, I can paint for. I'm also kind of was the perfectionist in me, like and never finishing something, and that kind of hurts at some point. I don't know, maybe that's also age. But I just wanted to paint stuff and then make a finished painting, composition, whatever. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. But that got me really far in learning a lot versus like painting on one painting for months or weeks or days, and it gets worse, and kind of it's a lot of stuff that I learned and trying different things, and now I just want to give something, I don't know, for myself, make something for myself, and maybe give other artists that don't have access to, I don't know, tools and stuff. Like, yeah. Yeah. And that's really great to hear. It's really important for me. I mean, yeah, if you say so, I believe you. But I'm still not sure. Sometimes I'm working on anything like it's crap, That's like nobody gonna use this. There's many cool things in it, but I don't know. At times I'm really excited. There's like, wow, this color mixer is so cool. And it's just there, can use it for whatever, and you can easily copy paste stuff. Everything is there when you close it, open. It's like just I said to Pilo before, it's like my dream app. I think I love the way it works, and I hope. I don't know. I have a problem a bit when I give this all to many people, and everybody has a different opinion, and for me, it's more like, does it work? Do you like it? It's not like I'm looking for too much ideas and input, but I'm open. I'm open for everything and try to what I can, and what I see fits, and maybe there will be things in that people, maybe someone was saying about kind of homework. How do you say? For assignments and stuff, for studies, and I don't know, a timer or some plan. And for me, that goes really far already. Maybe it could be a separate tool or something on its own. Even not sure if it's in here. Yeah, I'm open for ideas, of course, but or feedback that's like, if I give this out, I have to make sure that it's not unusable. But I think my experience is enough to know what works and what doesn't. And it's not in a perfect state now, but it's close. And yeah. don't want to. I have a private. I started using GitHub for this as a private. I'm not really looking for help. But I don't know. I don't want to sound like he wants to do all on his own. I'm open. I'm also like working together on open source, but I'm not sure this is really personal, this project, and a lot of work went into it. I'm not sure for maybe certain things that could use help, but I think even that I can manage in this size. And it's already really far, and a lot of stuff in someone else would take a long time to get to know what's happening. But I'm already started implementing the translation, or it's like a system already there. So for me, it's more like deciding. I don't know what language I can. German, English maybe, but I'm not really well in English. Perfect. Yeah, maybe on this side, to make it international, we could be something people could help, and kind of ideas and feedback for like, yeah, this is stupid, it doesn't work or something. I'm open, like, and I take critics well, and what at the end I want to do what I want, and I decide kind of what I want to have inside and how, and yeah, it could be as well possible as that I say, yeah, that's cool, make it, that's not, I'm not saying I deny everything, but, and this is just one tool, there's 3 others. But and it's kind of, the app is on top and you can copy paste between apps and stuff like this, so it's all there. It's easy as possible. And I find often when I use apps, why is it so complicated? Or is it not possible? Today there's so much that is possible. So that this perspective grid vantage point is something I built before, and some other things that are also useful to make a perspective grid. And a simple tool does what it needs to do. I don't have the right image, but this, sorry? Krita has a similarity, but there's no 3 point. This is 3 point, and I can move that up, as far as I want, 10 million pixels, and I still can control. No, and also maybe the fisheye and everything. No, this is just for now. The 3 point could also be just 2 point, but the cool thing is you can, like on this axis, it's kind of a solver, simple, it's simple math, Say the lines are, and it calculates the vantage point. I can do the same for the green, I need just 2 lines, and if you add more it averages. So then there's the 3rd axis, just like this. And now we can start drawing a box in this perspective grid. We can add boxes, and currently it's like this is not working, and it's really difficult to get to work. Move them around and stuff. I need there's so many different ways you can do this, and then probably many I tried are too hard, failed. And I got this working, and you can also change the color, the thickness of all the lines, how many. It could also be that it scales to the horizon. I can grab them. I think still what is happening with this one? It's the demo effect. Yeah, it started already before I made the stream. It's these boxes. Okay. Yeah, there's F-Spy. You can use an image and do similar things, and camera tracking, kind of camera solver, and you can make a scene in Blender with the same, so you can composite 3D to 2D. I'm not sure if I can make it really something useful, but I already used it, and exactly with this illustration, you can't really see it. I don't have the editor open, so I can. I was painting this illustration, it's almost finished, but this foreground here, the bridge, I wasn't happy. And I had two versions, and it wasn't really about the perspective, really, because also these houses it's kind of not real, the perspective. It's more like not even 2-point. But with this landscape, it just works, it doesn't matter too much. But then I put the grid, aligned how I want the bridge, and started drawing little boxes here, and exported the image into Krita as an overlay. So I have the exact image here, and then just as a reference, it was easy. In a couple of minutes I had this, otherwise in Blender and setup and I don't know. How do I export the transparent PNG again? Yeah, stuff like this could be, and this box thing. This box thing would be, maybe I can use a camera solver, I can use F-Spy, I don't know, as a library, I don't know, to solve this 3-point and have real 3D in here. With Godot it's easy. And just simple shapes, maybe curves, boxes, and place them quickly, just to get an intuition for a scene, or in this case, like afterwards, correcting some things and see if something is off. And yeah, but you already can do this stuff with other tools, and in the painting apps there's some better or worse tools for this. And Krita I liked a bit, and they had a new 2-point you can easily set up in this way, and you have the horizontal line you can change easily, similar to this. But I wanted to have 3-point, and they don't support it yet. And also the app here is on top of other apps, so also color pick directly from here in the color body app. But this one, I don't know, this could be, I want to make a suite of 3 or 4 tools that's maybe in one app, or they're all separate, and you can use whichever you want. That's kind of the idea for now, but I'm still making the decision, if there's 3 or 4 separate apps or all in one, and then you have like I want to open this tool or this tool, I don't know. And this is the crazy one. I haven't opened it with this one, I guess. This is the Godot Mono for So kind of a posing app. I want to do, and I already started. And with the 3D of Godot, it's kind of easy. And this a simple orbit camera. You know, to have you can load in objects and drop them in OBG and for stuff like this, and I can post them, set the lights up in the most simple way possible, for everybody, kind of. And this is just the first, and this is not at the moment, yeah. Sorry, I was interrupted. Simplicity. Yeah. Yeah, of more playful. So yeah, it's cool you're saying that. Yeah. What are you teaching? College. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, no problem. I also have sometimes trouble because I speak 4 languages or 3. Yeah, but Ebbe, I was thinking about the same, like even with the color body tool, like make it like a game. You know, there's a mini map. I'm not sure you have seen it. I didn't show it at the end. I minimized it. There's a top bottom. There's a bottom left. There's a little mini map. You see the stage because it's endless. It's like, yeah, this is open world, you know, and then this is your home somewhere, and you can maybe add some stuff in there, custom stuff, you know, like furniture. It's like your home base, like, and you can extract. You know, it's like an extraction shooter, but you extract colors from images. So wait. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is. I was when I have had a weekend. I set this scene up and I had it iterate multiple times until I reached to just like a large room and where I can put in many things, you know, for reference. Also, again, lightning, shadow stuff. Maybe also for a poser, and then you can have objects here. And I can set up rigs and stuff with different models, even maybe animals. Can be as much as possible, I don't know. And post them, you know, for reference in different angles and whatever, in an easy way. Because most apps I tried, not usable, not intuitive enough, and I don't know. Maybe I think I can make it better, and if it's for make it also maybe fun. That's why I said like I don't know. Maybe add something in here. It's like a base, you can walk around also. Could be easily possible. Or just use it as a put them up at here puppet and then pose it and have it open and sketch and whatever. And I don't know, that's a lot of work to set everything up and make it easy to use. And different parts already have implementations, and you can drag in an object and move it around. Basically, I build an editor, but not a full editor like a Blender. More like these posing type editors. And so environment stuff, this is from the Megascan library to spice things a bit up. Well, it was just for fun, but maybe it could be a thing. It just takes a lot more performance, GPU. So to have a simple mode, that's kind of, I can show it if you want, or have different, but I have to kind of pre-build them, and for me it's just, you have also set up different lights and angles, but now it's just like real light, so you have the temperature, the height, and also the intensity, and the color, so the day. So this is sunset, so by temperature, but then also have lights we can change manually the color and positions and stuff. And for heads, good references models for heads, ways to do it, and figures that I can, and this is just the first, like, sometimes doing this in between, and not coding and not know hard problems, then it's easy to, or sometimes build a UI, and that's kind of the fun part if you have so many skills you can use in different fields, that, so if I can do everything myself. Now I forgot to implement the close in here, and I never run it alone. Can I? Yeah, nice to have you. Thanks for joining, and we appreciate it very much. Bye. Bye bye. You want to see something cool? Well, if I can close this with the task, then I have to terminate the task. I was just, I built something a while ago. Also this year, I think, early this year. Yeah. I was making some prototypes and stuff over the years. This will probably lack some, I don't know, possibly. I mean, it's really kind of now optimized, but still really just a prototype. And it's like almost like a shooter, but it's a dragon. What? Lesser sheep. I don't understand what. The enemies. Ah, yeah, no, I know what you mean. So this is kind of. Yeah, they're just pills. Yeah, they're like the I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. No, they're just simple enemies, placeholder type, but kind of fun. So I also wanted to build something with dragon can fly around, and so yeah, and I built this dragon in Blender. It's a D&D dragon, the blue dragon. I had to for the Dragonlance cover. I used as a reference to pose. And at some point I made, yeah, since I already had the rig, the bones and everything, I transported it into Godot game engine and set up. This is now all procedural, this is no animation there, it's all math, just simple sinus curves. That's doing the wing is with IK setup, so the wings have some control how they move around. So this is just the basic, it's not doing anything special, but it works really well. You know, without having to do animation, keyframe animation. So if I turn right, the head turns right, left, up, down. And the wings just flat, don't do anything special. But if you have everything procedural, you can do cool stuff. And also, usually normal setup and programming in Godot, you get like 100 enemies, then it's really getting laggy. All the physics and all the enemies and stuff, and now it's really using no physics, and I can have like 500 of these at one point, and it's still running well. And you see, like, the farther away they get cache into a multi-mesh, so it's all one object, but they're still moving around. So it's as far as you can go performance-wise with Godot, and currently there's like 90, 100, and they just randomly spawn, and yeah, it's inspired by like a roguelike game. I love to play these for a while. And this fire spying effect was kind of hard to do, to get right and working. And I have other type of attacks that I prototyped. It's kind of this ice wall. Because originally I had a spider, you can move and jump around and use these weapons and attacks, and I put in the dragon instead, and still also having this one, a fireball, and this is kind of a rocket, and this is also fun, like having some blast effect. So it's like a shock wave. It's not doing much damage at the moment, but yeah, after I play for half an hour, I'm like on level XP 20,000, and there's like 600 enemies. And then it kind of gets laggy. So all these extreme roguelike, I just closed it because we see everything. Yeah, I have as many other kind of simple projects and prototypes I've built. That's a good way to learn an engine. And now I'm kind of ready to do more and more advanced stuff. Uh, so I didn't really plan to make apps. It was just I had some tool like this mixer and then starting trying the ray tracer and really thought the need to make something for myself, tools I need to create in my work. The Vanish Point tool, the color palettes, and it's a big undertaking now making everything work and finish, or to a point where I could release it. And I'm still not sure. I haven't really decided if I really want to give out this all for free or if I charge something. I'm tending to like for a small amount. And the other way would be like for donations. Which one? Which one you said? Odoo. What? Ah. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't want to make it complicated. Either like for free and donations, or just a small amount of. And if I have like 3 or 4 tools, and you can buy each separate, then it's flexible. You can just want the color, or just want the Vanish Point, or just a poser, or so you could buy them all together and get discount or whatever, or just buy one for, I don't know, 10, 20, I don't know, and then it's a lifetime, you get the license, and that's it, no subscription, no whatever. Yeah, I don't want to go that route, that's too much. But even like making a paid app, if it's be $10, $20, I don't know. You have to make everything possible, like over Steam or what, ArtStation, where do I sell it, how I do manage the licenses, maybe make support for it or whatever people expect when they buy something. But I also bought Ice Sprite, it's $20, $25, and I expected like, I don't know what, like from a big enterprise application where you pay a lot, then I bought many little apps that all donated, because I think they made something cool and it's free. I don't want it for free. If it's useful for me, I want to pay something back, and I do that always. But I found like people usually don't donate. You see it everywhere, and if you give it for free and then say I donate, you don't really can expect much, But yeah, I don't know. Still haven't decided. And that's why I don't give it out now, just to a couple people for testing, and maybe it will still take time, a couple months maybe, before I even like maybe have then a version that's for testing for a couple, for us on the server, maybe for other people can try, and it's maybe limited in a way, and then yeah, just get some feedback and then maybe need some help or whatever. Uh, and if I make it paid, you know, everybody gets it for free. That's who's who helped or whatever. That. Mhm. Yeah, exactly. It, but oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that's as working also as a freelancer doing multiple jobs. It's like all the paperwork and stuff. That's annoying. Also, don't like to. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I think yeah, if these tools are well made and for a small price, and maybe that's kind of giving something back, and maybe that supports me to make them even better. You know. So that's my fault. You know, I don't. I will give it out for free, no problem. But then, yeah, spent a lot of time and experience too, and I don't really get or anything, so I can maybe work on that in the future. You know, so that I don't know if that would work just with donations or something. And if I for just $20 and there's enough people who buy it, I can make myself free for like a year, couple of years maybe, and then do improve them or make other tools. So yeah, that's how it works, but you never know. Yeah, 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 and it's really hard these times. The cost of cost of living is high. It's higher and higher. In Switzerland, one of the richest countries, is struggling. You know, many people struggle, and in other countries it's worse. You know, and I don't know. And artists are usually the ones not making a lot. It's hard to make money and then not get screwed over or burned out or whatever. As a writer, what do you want to write about? Or novels or stories? Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Cool. You can always do it like at 10 minutes each day or what? Just